What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Alex, the best sports capper on YouTube, and we're going to talk about the NBA Finals, which in my opinion is pretty much over. Listen, I'm a guy who I've seen every single one of my favorite teams win at least one championship, except ironically the New York Knicks, right? So I know what it looks like when your team is going to win the championship, and no matter what sports you play, there's a little bit of luck that comes in to you being a champion, right? Or you winning a championship, whichever way you want to put it. I don't care which way you want to put it, put it whatever you want to put it. My point is, we need a little bit of help. Every single champion at some point has needed a little bit of help. So I say that to say the Indiana Pacers, as soon as I seen the way the Pacers beat the Cavs and they beat the Knicks, I knew this team was going to win a championship. Because that just doesn't happen. I don't know what type of blood magic the Indiana Pacers have done. Okay, maybe they sacrificed Jim Irsay. I don't know. They sacrificed Caitlin Clark's quad, at the altar. I have no idea. But clearly a higher power wants them to win. That or the league just wants them to win, and they're putting a magnet in the ball. That shot Tyrese Haliburton hit against the Knicks in Game 1 that popped out of frame and then somehow landed in the basket told me everything I needed to know right then. I was like, these guys are going to win. With that being said, had OKC won the first game, I would have probably had this going 7. And that would have gave OKC at least a puncher's chance at winning this series. But because they lost the first game, in amazingly what the hell just happened fashion, just like the Cleveland Cavaliers lost a game like that, just like the New York Knicks lost a game like that, just like the Milwaukee Bucks lost a game like that, I am now like, look, the Indiana Pacers are just a team of destiny. They're getting the luck. They are also talented. I can't stand them, but they are also talented as well. So when you're talented and the ball is bouncing your way, it becomes very difficult, if not impossible, to beat them. Right? I thought OKC probably had the best chance because games are about matchups. So just because one team beats one team doesn't mean necessarily that the next team's going to beat the other. So what do you mean by that, Alex? The Knicks aren't a great matchup with the Pacers because they just don't have the depth to keep up with the Pacers, right? Now, a team like Boston has the depth to keep up with the Pacers and they're more talented. This is why you'll see a team like Boston usually beat Indiana, right? Whereas a team like New York struggles, but a team like New York is more equipped to deal with the style of play of the Thunder. Even though the Thunder have more depth, the Thunder don't necessarily speed the ball up, and SGA and Jalen Brunson pretty much play the same way. So I'm saying that to say, in my opinion, the Pacers already seen another version of the Thunder when they played the Knicks. And, SGA is better than Brunson, but I don't think the Thunder have anyone better than Cat as a second option. There's no way you're going to tell me it's Jalen Williams. Like, get out of here. So I'm saying that to say, Indiana, in my opinion, was more prepared to play the Thunder than the Thunder was to play Indiana. They never really ran into a team quite like Indiana in the West, right? Denver plays more similar to how OKC plays and how New York plays, right? They haven't really ran into a coming at you 10 deep, full court press, running the whole game team like Indiana does. Now, they have the depth to deal with that, right? But when it comes down to it, and this goes back to what I said at the beginning of this video, when another team's doing blood magic, it's not much you can do, right? Even if I use my typical formula that I've been using the entire playoff series, which for the most part has worked outside of when I thought that the Knicks would find a way to get past the Pacers, right? Even if I use that formula. So the Thunder have the best player in the game, right? The SGA is the best player on either team. But I do believe Pascal Siakam is better than Jalen Williams. I'm just not a huge Jalen Williams fan like that. Siakam's a good defender. He's a 3-level scorer, and he's more reliable in my opinion. Jalen Williams is up and down. Chet Holmgren, up and down. So I do believe they have the best second player. I also think they have the best coach in Rick Carlisle, right? So they're winning 2 of my 3 metrics, right? Home field crowd advantage. I mean, really to me that's kind of a wash. Both of them have pretty rapid fan bases when they're doing well. But my 3 core metrics is who has the better coach, who has the best player on the floor, who has the best second option on the floor. They have the best coach, and they have the best second option on the floor. So even by my typical, this will tell me who's going to win, Indiana is still going to win this thing, right? So I don't see an angle. When you lose a game, and again, just go back and look at every other series. When you lose a game the way OKC lost that first game, it's deeper than the fact that you just lost home court advantage. Not only did you just lose home court advantage, but you realize you can play the perfect game, be winning the whole game, winning comfortably really for the vast majority of it, then all of a sudden things can go completely wrong and you can lose. That takes a psychological effect on teams, right? And that's coming from somebody like me who's played sports my whole life on an organized level, right? That takes a psychological effect because what happens is you can never relax, right? OKC has not been the most clutch team in the playoffs. They also have not been very good on the road either, right? Now you're playing tight the entire game because even if I'm up 10 with like 2 minutes left, I could still lose. Even if I'm up 17 with 3 minutes left, I can still lose. I know cliche. Again, this is why I'm talking about people who actually play sports. Because I know that cliche is, oh, you're supposed to play the whole game anyway. The reality is, if you're up 17 with 3:58 left, you're 9 times out of 10 putting the bench in because the game is supposed to be over, right? Same thing like with football. Like if you're up in football like 14 points with 6 minutes left, the game is supposed to be over. A lot of crazy things have to happen for you to lose. So Indiana keeps making those crazy things happen, which makes it so that the Thunder, in my opinion, can't really play comfortable now anymore. They also did this at your house. It's one thing if at least when it happened in Milwaukee, it happened in Indiana. They did it in the house of the Cavs, the house of the Knicks, and the house of OKC. You're also dealing with the fact that you watch this team do this in every single playoff series. So you can never be comfortable. That means you're playing the whole game tight. You're overthinking. You're trying harder to bury them so that you can be comfortable, which also often leads to you making more mistakes, making more dumb decisions, and just getting yourself into more bad situations. So, in my opinion, this series was decided in Game 1. I was supposed to put this video out before Game 1, in which I would have told you guys at that time that I think that it goes 7 and then anything can happen, and I guess that I would have gave the edge to OKC on their home court in a Game 7. But they lost Game 1. They're going to lose this series now. The Indiana Pacers are going to be your champions, all right? I know some people are going to be like, well, maybe you're jinxing it, Alex. I really don't think so, but if I do, good, because I don't like the Pacers anyway. I can't stand the Pacers. Halliburton is corny as hell. The whole yes, sir thing is corny as hell. I just don't like Indiana. Reggie Miller is a cornball, too. They've never won anything. They're running around talking about choke sign, but you lost that series, just like you lose everything. You've never won anything. But either way, I digress. They're going to win this. Again, clearly the guys are on their side. God's on their side. The NBA is on their side. Some higher power is on their side. With that being said, y'all, I am Alex and I am out. Peace.